Living in modernized society, we consume a lot of products and we generate a ridiculous amount of garbage. We also live in a time where the condition of our planet is so polluted and susceptible that we need to worry if there's enough of it left for us to survive off of. It is time that we, the generators of the pollution, ask ourselves if there are anything that we can do to help decrease the amount that we create. Over the last 30 years, the Environmental Protection Agency has created a list of the amount of municipal solid waste that is generated. And we currently are at an all-time high of 250 million tons produced annually. When you break that down, that totals 4.4 pounds per person per day, and only 1.5 pounds of that gets recycled. The EPA goes a little further and breaks it down into categories based on the product used or the material it's made out of. A few numbers that stand out to me are the food waste, paper products, and one particularly is containers and packaging. A third of our annual waste comes simply from containers and product packaging. That's just overwrapping the product before we actually consume it. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency really does a good job of helping us visualize this part of the waste stream. Each year at their Eco Experience, they highlight just one part of it. One year they did an exhibit called Bottled Biology. There they found out that every 5 minutes in the state of Minnesota, nearly 14,000 plastic beverage containers are purchased. And when they put them all together, they actually could string it into a wall. And they built a wall that is 15 feet high and stretches 70 feet long. With only 25% of those bottles being recycled, that's very little that gets taken out of the stream. 3,500 bottles to be more exact. But what does this all mean and why should we care? Well, you see, all this waste, it degrades natural habitats if it does not make it into the right place. It can end up in our oceans where they can leach hormone disruptors and other toxic chemicals. And the other thing that happens is this phenomenon called the Great Garbage Patch. And what happens here is in the ocean where it forms gyres, the garbage gets broken down into little bits. And these little bits actually stay suspended in the water, where they can prevent light from coming through and photosynthesis from occurring. They also can be ingested by the marine life and other animals. And these animals aren't able to digest the synthetic products. A lot of them do turn up on beaches, and autopsies will show that their intestines are filled with simply garbage. We also cannot neglect the impact of making the product. Everything comes with a cost, both monetarily and environmentally. From the mining and manufacturing of the product to the shipping of it to the store where it ends up for you to purchase it and for what you to choose to do with it after that. For what you choose to do with it. That's right. You can make the difference here. You can choose what happens to that product after you use it or even if you use it. There are simple things that you can do that make a difference, like simply don't be a litter bug. Or make sure it gets into the right bin, whether that be recycling, the trash, or compost. Compost is a really good thing to do because it can actually reduce your household organic waste by 25%. And not only that, it is turned into a renewable and nutrient-rich fertilizer and biopesticide. There are other things you can do like upcycle or recycle. There are websites like Pinterest and Crafster that can help you reuse products instead of throwing them away. Also, TerraCycle is a really neat company that can upcycle your trash. They'll take donations and turn them into new products. Some things you might have seen around are reusable tote bags that are made from Capri Sun pouches or Frito-Lay bags. They also make fertilizers and even kids' toys out of products. The really neat thing about them is they take so much waste out of the stream, they actually have a negative carbon footprint. And of course, the other thing to do that's both the most simple and the hardest thing is just don't use it. This is where your purchasing choices come in. You can choose whether you use that product or not. By making the smart buying choice and daily living habits, you can even decrease the amount to throw things away completely. But do we really know where we fit in and how much difference we can make? Here's my challenge to you to find out how much waste that you personally create. If you collected all your garbage for a week, do you think it will pile up neatly in the corner, or will it overflow into the hallway? Now imagine that over a month or a year. Add in your family and your pets or that occasional party. The pile grows sizably with each factor that you add in. So I want you to do just that and collect your garbage, but separate it by category so you can see whether it's a paper, plastic, organic, or if it's simply just garbage. When you look at it, is there anything that you can see a pattern in? Are there any items that you just don't need and can omit completely? And what really is a necessity? I challenge you to take that next step and see if you can decrease the amount of waste you create in half. While these all seem like little things to do, they really do add up and can make a difference in the public image and the health of the communities that we live in.